Happy brides, it's Alex Vanover and welcome back to my craft room. In this video, I'm gonna show you 3 super easy DIYs that you can make for your wedding using your Cricut. So let's jump into it. Our first super easy DIY is adding this vinyl to our paper bag. Anytime you're working with vinyl and paper, I recommend that you use press and seal as your transfer tape so that you don't mess up your paper. So you're just going to use a small piece of press and seal. And press it over top with the sticky side down over top of your vinyl. I'm gonna trim away some of the excess so it doesn't get in our way. Then in order to get it to stick well, I'm gonna use my squeegee and burnish it or rub it onto the press and seal. You don't wanna do this with too much pressure because you can rip your press and seal, so just do it easily but firmly. Then when you're ready, you can peel the backing off of the press and seal. Well, our vinyl's not wanting to come off, so we'll do a little bit more burnishing. Then you can simply center it on your bag. And then you'll want to burnish again with a squeegee. And remove your press and seal. And there you have it. So for our next easy wedding DIY, I'm going to show you how to make a mini chalkboard sign for your wedding using vinyl. Now I'm gonna be using it as a hashtag sign because I think these are really great reminders for people to use your hashtags, but you can change the wording to anything that you want. But the main key is to always make sure that you create your own template. And so the way that I'm going to do that is go into the shapes panel and choose a square. And then you want to size your shape for the exact size of your chalkboard, or at least as close as you can. So in order to size it and not worry about it being proportional, I'm going to unclick the lock in the lower left-hand corner. And then up here under size, I'm going to manually type in my size. So my chalkboard sign is 5 inches wide by 6.5 inches high. So that way I know exactly how it's gonna look on the sign, and I can make sure that it's gonna look proportionate and cover the whole thing and just be exactly the right size. So next I'm gonna go ahead and type in my text. So I'm gonna click the T and I'm gonna type share the love. And we're gonna change the font and color and all of that good stuff. So under font, I'm going to go under my system fonts, which are the fonts already installed under my computer. And I'm gonna search for Hello Honey. If you guys don't already have this font installed on your computer, you totally should. It's free from dafont.com and it's a really, really great font to have. A lot of people use it for their weddings. But I'm gonna need to reformat it. So I'm gonna choose ungroup. And I'm going to put share at the top, and then I wanna move the love onto the same line. That way we have plenty of room for our hashtag. I'm just gonna arrange everything the way that I want to. Actually, in fact, I'm going to move these 2 words closer together, and then I'm gonna select the 2 of these and attach them. And then I should be able to center these using the manual controls so that Share and The Love are perfectly centered. So I'm going to click and drag a box around both of them, and then I'm going to use a line and center horizontally. That way it looks really, really proportionate and even. So next I'm going to go up and change the color to white and then move it over to our chalkboard sign, and we'll resize it here in just a second. And actually, I didn't realize I forgot to do this. Next, I'm gonna click and drag a box around all of this, and I'm going to actually click weld, because that is going to keep everything all together. And you always wanna make sure that you weld your script fonts so that all the letters cut in one continuous piece. If you forget to weld, then they'll cut out in separate pieces and it'll look kind of funny. So next for text, I'm gonna click the T again, and then under fonts, I'm gonna choose a font called Champagne and Limousines. That's one of my favorite non-script fonts for weddings because it's so easy to read. And then I'm gonna type the hashtag at the bottom. So I'm just gonna use hashtag happily ever Alan. And I don't know why that text got so big, so I'm gonna resize it to be about 5 inches wide. Change the color to white and move it onto the sign as well. And then lastly, I'm gonna go into images, and so that people know what you're referring to, I think that it makes sense to put like a camera or something, or like an Instagram logo, so that people know what to use the hashtag on. So I'm gonna search for camera, and I'm just gonna look for a really simple illustration of a camera. In fact, I think this one is gonna work just fine. So I'm going to click it and then choose Insert Images. So we're gonna put this one up on our sign as well. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so that I have a better perspective of the sign. We'll move everything down a little bit. So this camera is automatically tilted a little bit, so I'm just gonna use the arrow and straighten it out. And then I'm gonna make the color white and size it up here at the top. It gets a little tricky sometimes with that template in the background, but in the end it's worth it because it just makes sure that your sign looks really good and really proportionate. And then in order to make this really, really simple, I'm gonna keep all the vinyl the same color. And if you're relatively new to Cricut, I recommend you keep things super simple with things like color so that it doesn't get too complex. So the way that I'm gonna make sure that everything cuts exactly like this is I'm going to click and select the camera. Then I'm gonna hold down the Shift key and click the Share the Love layer, and then also the Happily Ever Alan hashtag. And I'm going to attach the entire thing. And that's gonna make it so that when we go to the next screen, everything stays in place. So now that we have our vinyl finalized, we can go ahead and either click the eyeball and hide our square, or we can just delete it altogether. Either way is fine because it was just a template. So then we'll click the green Make It button, and I'm going to be cutting this out of my favorite brand of permanent vinyl, which is StarCraft HD, and I always cut that on the vinyl setting. So I'm gonna choose vinyl as my cut setting. I'm gonna hop over to my Cricut and cut it, and then I'll show you how to apply it to your chalkboard sign. So once your permanent adhesive vinyl is cut and weeded, next it's time to apply your favorite transfer tape. Since you're using a chalkboard sign, you don't want to use a super sticky transfer tape, so I really like this clear medium tack from 143vinyl.com because it never pulls up anything from my surface. So I'm just gonna pull a piece out and apply my vinyl straight to my transfer tape. And trim this piece off. Then I'll do another light burnishing with my squeegee. And there you have it, easy wedding DIY number 2. Easy wedding DIY number 3 is making your own acrylic place cards. This is a super easy process that just turns out beautifully. So first, you'll want to use your weeding tool to remove the film over top of your acrylic place card. This is just over top of it to keep it from scratching. So you'll see the other side is clear and there's a film on the back side as well. And first, you'll want to take whatever name you have cut out of permanent adhesive vinyl and add transfer tape. Then you'll want to use a squeegee and burnish your vinyl down well onto your transfer tape. Then you can remove the backing and add your vinyl to your place card as centered as you can. Then once you get it stuck down, use the squeegee again and burnish or rub over top of it. And then remove your transfer tape. And it looks like I forgot to weed the middle of the E. There we go. All right, and then once that's finished, you can flip it over and remove the film from the other side using your weeding tool. And if you want to leave it completely clear, you can, but I've noticed that a lot of people treat the place cards a lot like acrylic signs. So I'm gonna paint the backing gold so that not only does it have some beautiful color on it, but it also makes it easier to read the name. So I'm just gonna take some brushed metal acrylic paint and paintbrush and brush it over the back, especially where the name is. What's really great about these is you really don't need to worry about being too neat because you can always go back and fix it or add more. And you can give it kind of a neater look and just keep it behind the name, or you can really add some nice touches, like kind of making the top and bottom round to go with the round acrylic circle. And then when you want to see how it looks, just carefully pick it up and flip it over. And then you can see if anywhere needs any more coverage. This paint is pretty thin, so it looks like we'll need a couple of coats. And once you're happy with the paint coverage, just let it dry face down and you have a beautiful acrylic place card for your wedding. If you make anything using my tutorials, whether it's one of these ideas or something else, and you decide to share it out on Instagram, please use the hashtag DIYAlex because I love being able to see what you guys are making. And if you're not already a part of my Facebook group, then I would love to have you. It's a Facebook group called Cricut Brides and Wedding Crafts, all about DIY weddings. So I'll be sure to link it down in the description below. And if you've made it this far in the video, then I really want to get to know you on social media. So please be sure to find me at DIYAlexVanover on pretty much all major social media platforms. And I'll also drop direct links down in the description below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more just like it, then be sure to subscribe to the DIY Alex YouTube channel and be sure to ring the bell so that you get notified every single time that I put out a new video every single week. But don't wait for next week's video. Be sure to check out this one next. Or if you want to make your DIY dreams come true, be sure to check out this video. I know that you're going to love it.